Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sobriety for Beginners. Because I know that I am just a beginner in all this. Um, Another early morning chit chat. I thought I would come outside and kind of enjoy the morning and talk with you. It's a nice morning. It's cool in the morning, which I do enjoy. The birds are, singing and everyone's kind of waking up for the day, so it's good to get outside and enjoy the morning. But you know, I also wanted to. The other morning, I talked about how in my first step with my sponsor, we talked about sometimes that I was powerless over alcohol. I was very mentally driven to manipulate people and to act in situations and hide and sneak and find ways to go get more alcohol, and like the mental obsession, the constant thinking of it, and the way that it really drove my life. Like, as soon as I woke up, I thought about alcohol. As soon as I went to bed, I was immediately planning for the next day. And it's just nice to have to wake up and be like, okay, my morning starts with I need to go get some coffee, and it's 5:45, so I need to go get ready for the day, and it's nice not to have to be mentally exhausting myself that early in the morning thinking about how am I going to sneak out, how am I going to go get more. So it's definitely nice not having to do that. But definitely sometimes that my life was unmanageable was the lying that I did was just unbelievable. It was definitely to a point where I had two lives. I really, really did. I would have one life that I had at home that I would try and put on, a sober face. I would come home and try and not act drunk, which, my husband was very keen at catching up on the signs, and he knew as soon as he heard me talk, as soon as he saw me react, he knew right away if I had or had not been drinking. So I tried to learn the signs, and I tried to kind of combat that to make myself not seem so drunk. But he would ask about my day, and I would lie, and I would tell him stories about my day that never really happened, just to make my day sound meaningful. But it was mostly my day was driven on trying to get more alcohol. And then when I get to work, or I'd go out with friends, or I would talk with other family, then another story would come out. I would talk about how my kids at home were sick and I needed to leave on my lunch break, or I needed to leave work early, or I couldn't go out that night. I couldn't hang out because my kids weren't feeling well. But then I would tell my husband I was leaving to go hang out with these people just so I could go get more alcohol, And I would create like these double lives, and it was so hard keeping up with it. It was so hard keeping up with it because you really forgot like who you told who what. And you would have one life that you would build, and then you'd have another life you would build, and then depending on who you talked to, you had to remember what story you told. And for me, I definitely know that when I was drinking, once I hit a certain point, I would black out. Every time. Every time I drank, once I hit a certain point, I would immediately black out. And I would, talk with someone the next day, and they're like, yeah, you remember when you said yada yada? And I'm like, no. And someone had mentioned in a meeting sometime that, alcoholics were pretty smart people. We were smart people because we had to learn and adapt, and we had to, like, kind of keep up with ourselves while going through this, So I got really good at, trying to like redirect the conversation and try and figure out ways to talk about like how can I remember what we talked about yesterday, So I would try and say things to try and prompt my memory just a little bit, just to try and remember what it was we talked about. So, I'm having to do the double work, the extra work just to carry a conversation, when all I had to do was just try and remember what we talked about the next day. And it was just so exhausting. Like, it was just so tiring. And then just like your normal daily living, I would forget stuff. There was things that I had to do There's things that I had to remember. Oh, I gotta, call the doctor office and set up an appointment for this, or I gotta remember to grab this from work to bring home, or, I gotta remember to set an appointment for the dog, or just stuff like that. And it would just go like days and days of completely forgetting. And my husband would get irritated with me because I would always forget and I would always not remember to do something, and things would just get lost, forgotten, not done. And it was just, once I started drinking, the only thing that occupied my mind was getting the next one. How am I going to get more? And, just your normal daily living things that you had to get done never got done. And they would get pushed for 2 or 3 days, sometimes weeks. Sometimes it would never ever get done, and it would get too late, to try and rectify a lot of stuff. And, it was a lot. It was a lot. And it's just nice having a mental break, It's nice being bored. It's nice just sitting on the couch and just being like, I've accomplished so much today. I got so much done today. I don't have to worry about, X, Y, and Z. And, it's just nice just to sit on the couch and actually, like, not do anything for the moment, So my life was definitely unmanageable, I would try and repair some of the relationships that I had that got broken because of drinking. I'm sure will never get repaired. I know some people probably never want to talk to me ever again or have no interest, which is fine, but those are part of the amends that I'll try and have to make, and that's going to be a whole other thing. That's going to be a whole other step, but for today, I don't have to do it right now, but I will have to face that, I will have to face that demon. So it is what it is. It's my own consequences. It's my own bed that I have to lie in. And, I have to be the one to do the work to get it done. So it's a good day. It's Friday. Been teleworking all week, of course. It's getting a little daunting. When I first heard the idea of teleworking, I was like, yes, I can stay home and it's gonna be nice and I don't have to get up for work and I can sleep in and it's gonna be amazing. And then, the fact that I don't have that separation between the two. Like I don't have okay, I gotta wake up, I actually physically have to leave the house to go to work, and now I'm at work and I know that this is like work time. Like this is the time that I need to focus on work. And like I kind of like compartmentalize a lot of my life just because, I don't want to bring work home. I don't want to bring life to work. So when I'm at work, I focus on work. My work has other job duties that I have to do, and, I try and do 110% everything I can to work, and I try and not let my life, kind of get in the way. And when life is banging at the door, screaming, "Mommy, I want some more milk," or whatnot, it's hard to, compartmentalize work and life. So there's just no break. There's no break in between. There's no break between, okay, it's work time, I need to focus on work duties. And then when the work's done, okay, now it's home time, I need to focus on home. And when I open that door from the office and I walk out and life hits you smack in the face, it's hard to separate the two. So I didn't think that I would say this, but I'm not too keen to working from home. It may be different if the kids weren't here, it may be different if they were like gone to school and we actually had like that direct separation. Okay, I've driven them to school, now it's time to return home, do work stuff. Now I can drive back to school to go get them. Now it's home time. And maybe if I had that direct separation, it'd be a little bit different. But right now, I don't. So it's a little tough. But I hope everybody else is having a great day. I hope everybody else has a good weekend. And I will talk to you in the next one.